for Pakistan. Best of 4 for 28. Decent economy rate, 4.87. And they'll be looking for a fast start. Any wickets they can pick up and try and put South Africa under pressure to start this match will give them a boost of confidence. They weren't very impressive against India, but it's another opportunity to try and get themselves back into the tournament. South Africa using a different strip today. They've got the yellow shirts on. It's usually an outfit they wear for the T20 internationals. They've just decided to almost use an away strip because they are playing against Pakistan, who have a very similar coloured outfit. And bathed in sunshine, we start the game. Not the ideal start.
Makes a lot of sense, actually. Having a sort of away kit so that you're not all in green. They look pretty good. I like their tops. South Africa look very smart in it. They didn't set the tone very well the other day against India. There was a misfield in Imad Wasim's first over.
For Pakistan. To get a few more loose deliveries from this Pakistan bowling lineup. South Africa using a different strip today. They've got the yellow shirts on. It's usually an outfit they wear for the T20 internationals. Has presented his cap on the ground just before the start of play. Always a massive moment for any international cricketer. You'll remember it. And you'll be hoping when he does get his opportunity at the top of the order to take advantage of the chance. Probably better for him, Nas, that he gets a bit of time in the field before he has to bat.
I was just thinking that, actually, just a little bit of time to get used to international cricket. 27-year-old from Mardan up in Pakistan. It's an area that Yunus Khan was brought up in, so good pedigree of cricketers. Opening batsman with a big high back lift. First class record last year. Big moment. I think he's 50 in list A cricket as well, so he's got the pedigree. Great opportunity for him.
Well, it's nice when you've done the hard yards and you eventually do get your opportunity at the top level. But he's got 50 overs of fielding to do first of all. And that's beautifully played. I don't know if it's going to make its way to the boundary. We've had a lot of rain in the Edgbaston area, so the outlook pretty slow. They'll be comfortably back for the third. Into the Cox away.
Yeah, he thrives on anything. wide. It wasn't that bad a delivery from Mohamed Amir. Just went away slightly on the breeze. And like most left-handers, Quinton de Kock, very strong square on both sides. Got to get him coming forward. That's what Sri Lanka did well.
Hashim Amla, his opening partner, 100 against Sri Lanka in the first game that South Africa played at the Oval, averaging over 50, strike rate just under 90.
Fastest man ever to 25 ODI hundreds.
He's the fastest man in a lot of categories in one-day cricket, isn't he? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5, 6, 7.
A machine you've seen in this tournament. If you come in good nick, the likes of Amla had a great IPL, Williamson, Root, Hamim Iqbal, there's some run machines out there.
And I always have to admit to the fact that I saw Hashim growing up and I always thought he would be a good test player and do really well at that level, but I didn't see these facts and figures coming with regards to one-day cricket. He's adjusted his game superbly. He's a real stalwart at the top of the order for South Africa. Nearly drags that one into the stump, but no damage done, so 4 from the first over.
Well, then he went for 4 boundaries in 14 overs, Sri Lanka up front. A reflection of how well they bowled for these two. Also, that pitch was a little bit tacky. They realised what was a good score against Sri Lanka. They got 299 in the end, and that was plenty.
The surface that's been used today, we mentioned, has been used twice already in this tournament. There was another pitcher they were trying to get prepared and ready for this encounter, but they just felt that without enough sun and all the wet conditions that were around, it probably wouldn't have been at its best, so they decided to err on caution, go for a surface that's already been used and has played pretty well. Opens the face, nudges it through the offside, comfortably back for the second. Quinton de Kock is pushing hard for the third. And you are fielding out there, it's a big throw, long boundary and into the wind. got the two slips in place, both of them with their hands in their pockets. It's quite chilly out there with the breeze that's blowing. I wonder how South Africa's approach, if it did change in any way, would have been from that encounter against England at Lords, where they just felt that under English conditions there might be the odd occasion where the bowlers get on top of you for 2, 3 or 4 overs, and they've looked a little bit subdued even today. It's not like they're going at a great rate of knots to start. Goes hard at that one, beats the outside edge. Khan thought he had heard something as it went past the edge.
Yeah, no side has really got off to a flyer in the tournament. You could argue New Zealand went hard with Ronke and Guptill against Australia. Steve Smith felt Australia didn't bowl particularly well up front. Maybe just in England, with the amount of rain there's been in the last week or so, sides are trying to work out what's a good score and they can catch up later. Also, the bowling's been pretty good up front from the seamers.
Nasty play, but fielded in the covers. So 3 from that over, 7 without loss. De Kock was looking to leave that. John pick up a wide. A little bit of movement, made it smashed into his thigh pad. Umpire S. Ravi. He's standing in his 30th one-day international. And at the other end, it's Richard Illingworth. Played for Worcestershire, which is pretty close to Birmingham. Standing in his 53rd ODI. Third umpire is Kumar Dharmasena.
Going to keep an eye on the fielding today as well of Pakistan. Difference between the two sides in their first game. South Africa were brilliant in the field, but Pakistan were poor. Misfields all round, overthrows, drop catches, you name it. It was an absolute shambles at times. If you remember the South Africa game with de Villiers with a brilliant catch and a run out, even Imran Tahir got a run out. So keep an eye on the fielding. It's been good so far.
As the inside edge just falls short in the end. A little bit of movement. I think the surface is dry. Probably just standing up as it pitches.
Tight line again. That's the key here. It does just nip back in a fraction. Don't give him any width. So far he's tried to pounce on anything wide. May have just nicked that onto his thigh pad. Didn't carry, obviously.
Yeah, from his seam position out of the wrist, it looked like he's just trying to nip everything back at Quinton de Kock. Doesn't want to offer up any width. They know how strong he is square of the wicket. Another good delivery, starting to build up some pressure. Quinton de Kock wouldn't have enjoyed not being able to get things away against Sri Lanka. They have to see if he adjusts his game plan here against Pakistan. The drone pitch analysis, it's darker, a lot darker than a lot far. The bare patches, it's been played on twice.
I enjoyed your pitch report this morning. It was very informative. I forgot you're a local lad, aren't you? You used to play here.
Go you Bears.
Definitely the darkest colour, and by darkest you infer that it's the driest.
Could be an opportunity. If he hits, he's gone. Misjudged by Quinton de Kock. Shoaib Malik was the fielder. Quinton de Kock ended up giving up.
I have no idea why the Pakistan fielder there is clapping. There's absolutely nothing to clap. 3 stumps to aim at. Add this to your poor fielding package. Got a hit here. Not far away. Threw off balance. Had more time than he thought. And he was wide. Got to hit the stumps.
Well, it is showing that Quinton de Kock is starting to feel the pressure. He wants to give those fast starts. He's become accustomed to picking up boundaries at will at the front. And that's clipped nicely by Amla. You mentioned the slowness of the outfield, so he'll be comfortably back for second, pushing for the third. But the side's against it. So 3 runs from that over, 10 without loss. Before.
Fascinating pylon chat from Sean Pollock.
Well, I must admit, I'm impressed by the one at Headingley. That's pretty good with the rows around it. This one you have to almost have the lights on to appreciate that there is an E involved. Another example of some movement. It's a dry surface, so you'll get the ball just gripping and nipping around, particularly with that pronounced seam.
Yeah, I was speaking to Mohammed Amir out there this morning, actually, or this afternoon, and he was saying how much he's learning from other sides in this comp of going cross seam, cutters. He's going to start up front by having the seam upright, but then on this pitch there's going to be a lot of running the fingers down the side, cross seam.
They go upstairs. Will they consider it? I think it was a little bit high.
Yeah, just also on the angle, left armour and the stuff you've been talking about, trying to nip the ball back in. The LBWs are going to be slightly hard, and you're right, it did just stand up a little bit, going down. But they're bowling well here.
It's got to do that. I mean, talk about the change of approach from a lot of the bowling teams. It's got a lot to do with the surface. I mean, they're as bare and well mowed as I've ever seen in England, compared to even when I used to play. Well, no, that was way back in the day, but they are almost run fests. I want to sum them up in that way. Edge and wide of the slip, and that will be the boundary, the first one of the day for Quinton de Kock.
Just wanting to pounce on anything a fraction wide. Threw his hands at it, no third slip, and it went away towards that shorter boundary for 4.
I don't think Baba, the second slip, would have got close, but it was almost like it was concrete feet. He hardly moved in the direction of where the ball was going.
Always like that view. Sometimes on telly you don't get the that angle of the slip cordon. Goes quickly, but it's a pretty good catching ground, Edgbaston.
Trying to force the issue of a delivery that was just back of a length. Gets away with that one, does de Kock. It was almost in no man's land, but decided to go through with the shot.
Fair play to the seamers in this tournament so far. One-day cricket over the last few years has been about batting. Not had a lot to work with, but most of the seam attacks have set the tone up front, whether it be England or New Zealand or now Pakistan, Sri Lanka the other day. Australia have come back well as well. The seamers have really set the tone up front. Excellent stuff this from the two left armers.
There hasn't been much to work with, has there? Hasn't been much swing in the tournament so far, but the lines, the lengths, the accuracy's been good. A good delivery again to end the over. Just that one boundary from it, 14 without loss. Cricket, and they'll be hoping for okay to say it's already been an improved performance from the first 4 overs. There's the first bouncer, clears the wicketkeeper, allows them to get through for a bye, I would suggest. In fact, no, he's now singled umpire S. Ravi that that's in fact a wide.
Yeah, if it's overhead high in your batting stance, really, that's when the umpires get fidgety and call it a wide. Not where he ends up there, it's where he starts. I think that's fair enough.